2011 meeting of the Public Safety Committee will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Antelli, Mr. Beebe, Mrs. Draw is excused, Mr. Eckel, Chairman Hanna,
Here.
Mr. Lee, Mr. Lightfoot, Mr. McCann, Mr. Yolovich.
This evening, in light of Legislator Draw's absence, Mr. Barker will be sitting in as an ex officio, and we'll be voting on these referrals. Yes.
Appreciate that, and you're letting us know this. In future, if one of us is absent, can we put in an ex officio?
He's the vice. I'm the acting president. The acting president this evening. That's
Thank
why
you very
this-
much.
Sorry. I should have explained that. Next item is the public forum. Is there anyone signed up for the public forum this evening?
There are no public forum speakers this evening.
Is there anyone present this evening that would like to address the committee? Seeing none, we will move on. The next item is the approval of minutes. You have the February 14th, 2011 minutes before you. They'll stand approved unless the clerk's office is notified of any changes by the end of the day. Next item, new business.
Referral 11-50, acceptance of a grant.
Moved by Legislator McCann, seconded by Legislator Yolovich. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral 11-51, acceptance of a grant.
By Legislator Yolovich, seconded by Legislator Antelli. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Item carries.
Referral 11-52, amend resolution.
Legislator Antelli, seconded by Legislator McCann. Is there any discussion? Legislator Eckel.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Through you to the administration, is this a new contract to replace the previous one adopted in 2008 or an extension of that contract?
Through the chair, this is an amendment to the original resolution that was passed that will allow us to amend the contract.
Okay, thank you. And through the chair, could you please explain why the administration decided to go with an amendment instead of a full new contract, especially since the original contract potentially expires on March 31st of 2011, or the end of this month?
Through the chair, the original resolution voted on by this body had 5 one-year extensions, and for that reason, it was determined that it would be more appropriate to simply amend rather than go through the process from the inception through to completion again.
Okay, thank you. And seeing that, there were 5 one-year, we still have 2 more one-year extensions were allowed on that. And also all of these have this provision in it that says that the executive is authorized to enter in any desired amendments to this contract. Why is this amendment coming back before us? It's out of curiosity.
Right. In the original contract, there's no way of knowing how much the cap of $900,000 would be exceeded, or even if the cap of $900,000 would be exceeded. So it's an impossible thing to contract for at the date that the contract is signed. And for that reason, it became necessary to then go back and do the amendment to account for that excess.
Thank you very much. And through the chair to the administration, why is the cost of this 2-year period roughly $19 million, when the previous 3-year contract with CMC was slightly more than $24 million, which is an increase of $2.25 million per year?
Right. The amended amount includes the base amount of the contract for the time period specified in the amendment, and it also includes the retroactive costs that exceeded the $900,000 cap, which I mentioned we were not. We had no way of knowing what they would be or even if they would be incurred, so that's why the amount is more, because it includes the base cost for the time period as well as the retroactive costs in excess of the cap.
Okay, so if I'm reading this correctly through the chair, the $2.25 million is really to retroactively pay the amount that they exceeded for the last 3 years?
Actually, when all of the, through the chair, I apologize, when all the math is done, it's approximately 1.3 million that the cap was exceeded for the first, well, up until the date that this referral was put in, which was the last date that we were able to calculate. In fact, approximately $345,000 of that amount was incurred because of one inmate who had a serious injury and was hospitalized off-site.
How much was that? I'm sorry, through the chair.
Approximately $345,000.
I'm sorry, through the chair. Could you please state your name?
I'm sorry, through the chair, Jen Summers, counsel to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, 1.3 million per year over the last 3 years through the chair, if I'm correct, or is it 1.3 million over the last 3 years?
Through the chair, it's 1.3 million over the last 3 years.
Approximately 3 years.
Yes.
And so the other just under $1 million through the chair is for the extension of the contract for the next year?
Right. It's the base cost of the 2 years and approximately 3 months that are included during that time frame, yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Through the chair, how many other firms responded to the RFP? And also, through the chair, if you could answer, why was the RFP issued if we're only amending this contract?
Through the chair, the RFP that's referenced in the referral was the original RFP that went out in 2008. If I'm not mistaken, and I was involved, I believe it was 5 companies that responded, and CMC was chosen after a lengthy process.
Mm-hmm. So the RFP, I'm just making sure I understand the RFP that's referenced in the referral is the original RFP from 3 years ago, and there were 5 respondents.
Through the chair, yes, that's correct.
Thank you. Through the chair to the administration, why is there no statement in this referral indicating the principals of CMC do not owe any delinquent property taxes? Usually that statement is included in all referrals.
Mr. Chairman, I will speculate that that's because this is a recommended amendment rather than the awarding of a new contract, but we will certainly be glad to reconfirm that that is in fact the case and that no property taxes are owed before the next, before the Ways and Means Committee.
I appreciate it. Before the Ways and Means Committee, I heard correctly. Thank you very much, through the chair. Anybody else want to keep going? You go ahead. I'm done.
Thank you. Through the chair to the administration, how much in fines or penalties has the CMC paid to the county?
Through the chair, I don't have an exact number. I can bring that. We have assessed penalties since they began, and they've declined pretty much on a monthly basis to where I believe there's almost no penalties now. But I will get the exact amount. The penalties that you're referring to have been assessed for staffing shortages, and I can get that. I apologize, I don't have it with me tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other discussion?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, to the administration, thinking about this CMC, were there any deficiencies found in personal levels of this particular organization? Through you, Mr. Chairman, to the administration.
Through the chair, when you say personnel levels,
Personnel deficiencies in staffing, or you were just referring to that a little while ago, so I was following up with this question. Through you, Mr. Chairman, to the administration.
Right. Through the chair, we have staffing matrix that we require strict adherence to, and if, for instance, CMC is short of a licensed practical nurse and tries to make up the coverage with, for instance, 2 registered nurses, we still penalize them. So we do occasionally, and that's where I mentioned that we've assessed penalties. That happened much more frequently in the beginning when they were trying to get their personnel up and running than it does now. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that the staffing shortage penalties are close to negligible now, but I will confirm that and bring it to the ledge.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, to the administration, what outside providers will CMC attempt to negotiate with regarding off-site services?
Through the chair, they deal with Rochester General Hospital, primarily Strong Memorial Hospital. For the most part, it's those 2 hospitals.
Okay, and just to follow up with that, why will CMC be negotiating and not Monroe County?
Through the chair, we have found since the inception of this contract that the provider, CMC, has consistently negotiated the best price for us, including, for instance, where they've been able to bring in generic drugs. We have been able to realize money that we never realized before. We've really had no cause to question their judgment in terms of where they are making the decision to send our inmates, and we've also had no reason to believe that the care at one facility is deficient for the reason that they sent the inmate there to a particular location.
Okay, through you, Mr. Chairman, to the administration, so you're going to provide us with any of the indicators or deficiencies that they may have, as well as, can I request a copy of the rating sheet as well? Through you, Mr. Chairman, to the administration.
I'm through the chair. Could you explain what you mean by that?
Like your rating, how for the fines and penalties,
Oh.
all that, how that's derived, if you will.
Yes.
Can we get a copy of that to this body?
Yes, through the chair. It's contained within our contract, and I will forward it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Just a quick request through you, Mr. Chairman. If we could have these delivered to us and to the people on the Ways and Means as well prior to the Ways and Means meeting, I would truly appreciate that.
Through the chair. That's not a problem.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Legislator Beebe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I only have one question of concern here. In the budget under the Sheriff's Office, this is located under Fund Center, but where in particular, where would I find this line item through the chair to the administration? Where is this exactly located in the budget?
Through the chair, I apologize. I'm not sure of the answer, but I can find out, obviously, and report back.
Is there any other discussion? Legislator Beebe.
Just to follow up, Mr. Chairman, to the administration. Is this item that's in the Sheriff's Office, if I went to look this up, I just want to express my concern about it, is that I looked this up earlier, I could not find this line item whatsoever, so I'm kind of curious as how you are going to find it. If, with the copy that I have, is there some other software application or some other budget that has this detailed in there?
Through the chair, and I will confirm, but I believe this item is contained under contracted items. we contract with CMC, who then provides medical care. But again, I will confirm that with the budget individuals within the sheriff's office and report back.
All right, through the chair to the administration, so if this is a contractual agreement or it's under that line item, contractual, I know that when we get a copy of the budget, there's nothing detailed in there. So once again, I'll be curious to see exactly how that shows up. I have no further questions.
Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, item carries. Next item, are there any other matters to come before the committee this evening? Seeing none. The March 21st, 2011 meeting of the Public Safety Committee stands adjourned. The next meeting of the Public Safety Committee will be held on April 25th, 2011 at 5 p.m.